guys, it's Just from Honest Fiction, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my April TBR. Alright guys, so I will say my April TBR is slightly more ambitious than previous month's TBRs, and that is because I work in education. So I have a spring break, I have about 8 or 9 days off work, and I plan on taking full advantage of that and reading as many books as possible. Now, there is a mix of fantasy romance and romance on this TBR. You can definitely check out the timestamps down below if you're looking for a certain genre. I will say there's definitely more fantasy romance this month, and that is because of two things. One, I will be buddy reading with a few different booktubers, and I am so excited about it. I haven't buddy read in a while. And then two, a bunch of fantasy romance audiobooks are being released in April. So I believe it's the 5th, 11th, and 14th. So many audiobooks are dropping that I've just been waiting for, specifically Serpent and the Wings of Night. I am so excited. But anyway, that is why there's slightly more fantasy romance on this list. Now, if you're unfamiliar with my channel, I post new videos every Thursday and Sunday. If you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. You can also hit the notification bell to be notified whenever I post new bookish content. You can also check out my Instagram and Goodreads, both linked down below. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the books I want to read in April. Alright guys, so I know I said I was going to be sorting these books by genre. However, I'm going to start off with the books that I am reading for different read-alongs that I'm currently co-hosting. So first up, we have A Shadow in the Ember, and this is by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the first book in the prequel series to From Blood and Ash. So a few other booktubers and myself are currently hosting a read-along where we read all of the books that are taking place in this world, and we're going in publication order. So this is technically the 4th book we're reading, but it takes place hundreds of years before the events of From Blood and Ash. And I am so excited to read this because I remember when I first read this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite book in this entire series. So it should be a really fun time. It's following Nyktos and Serafina, and it's so good. So at the time I'm filming this, I'm not exactly sure when the live show is going to take place or whose channel it's on. We still have to figure out like the second half of our live shows, but I'll leave all the information down in the description below, and I hope that you join us. And the next series I'll be reading for a read-along is the Stay With Me series by Nicole Fiorina. So Tori from Novel Life and myself are hosting a read-along of the entire Stay With Me series starting on March 26th and going until April 15th. Now on April 15th on Tori, Novel Life's channel, at 5 p.m. we will be having a live show where we just discuss this series. This series is one of my favorite series of all time. It was my favorite series of 2022. I love it. So we are following Mia and Ollie. Mia is this teenage girl, and she has been described as having like sociopath behaviors. She just doesn't care about anyone. She doesn't really have empathy, and her family has had enough. So they send her to this reformatory college in England, and when she gets there, she meets Ollie Masters. Now, Ollie is the exact opposite of Mia, where he feels emotions too deeply, and it is their story. And Ollie Masters is top book boyfriend. All of you need to experience him. He's just a cinnamon roll, and I love him so much. And this story is just fun. So much goes on. It's just a wild ride. So I really hope you join us and read the Stay With Me series. I cannot wait. All right, so moving into fantasy romance. First up, we have Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. I have had so many people recommend I pick up this book. People are saying it is their favorite fantasy romance of all time. And I have been patiently waiting for the audiobook for this to come out. It is finally going to be released on April 11th. I am going to read this the moment it is available via audio. So if you guys want me to vlog reading this, let me know down in the comments below. And let me know if you want it spoiler-free or containing spoilers. But all of my friends have read this book. They have all absolutely loved it. I have not heard a single negative thing about this. So I'm so excited. And I don't know very much about it. I know that it is a vampire fantasy romance. I believe it's enemies to lovers. And I think there are also trials that take place. But I'm so excited. I really hope it lives up to the expectations I have for it because, like, the bar is so high. But yeah, I will definitely be reading this as soon as that audiobook is released. All right, and this next book is another book that is very popular, and I've been waiting for the audiobook to come out. And that is A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, and this is by Holly Renee. So this is following a woman who is engaged to a crown prince. However, she starts to develop feelings for his half-breed brother, and I believe his brother, or the crown prince's brother, is able to harness like a dark power. And then I think the kingdom is attacked, and she has to decide if she wants to go with the Dark Prince or go with her betrothed. and it sounds really good. Now, I've had friends that have read this and absolutely loved it. I've also had friends that have read this and ranted and hated it. So I'm just curious, and I'm gonna try it. So like I said, the audio for this is gonna be released on April 4th, and I will probably pick it up very shortly after that. And next up is actually a new release. So we have the Coven, and this is by Harper Woods. This is the same author of What Lies Beyond the Veil, which was one of my favorite fantasy romances of last summer. So I was so excited when I heard she was writing like a witchy book. So this is following a girl who's raised by her father, and for some reason her father harbors a lot of animosity towards the Coven that they were originally born into. So our main character has kind of been an outcast her entire life, and all she really wants to do is take care of her younger brother. So she ends up going to this like college of sorts that teaches you magic. It's away from humans. You're able to practice magic freely. And then secrets start to be revealed. She finds out about this bloody massacre that took place 10 years ago, and it goes from there. So I'm so excited to read this or listen to this. So the audiobook comes out on April 11th, so I'll probably be listening to this via audio, but it should be really good. And next up is a fantasy romance that has been on multiple TBRs, but I'm actually going to get to it this month. And that is A Heart of Blood and Ashes. And this is by Milla Vane. So this is the first in the A Gathering of Dragons series. And all I know about this book is, one, it has barbarians and dragons, so sign me up. But we are following, I think it's the prince, and he's like the prince of the barbarians, and his parents, who are the king and queen, were just slain, which is causing like an upset in this kingdom. So he decides that he is going to go and kill the person he believes killed his parents. But when he gets there, he finds out it's a girl, and I think he takes her prisoner, so maybe enemies to lovers. But I've heard nothing but amazing things about this fantasy romance, and I know Crystal from Crystal's Bookish Life absolutely loves it, so I'm so excited to check this out. And next up is Bound to a Battle God, and this is by Ruby Dixon. So Ruby Dixon is the same author that wrote the Ice Planet Barbarians series. I did read the first 2 books in that series, but then ended up DNFing the series as a whole, and that is just because I don't love alien romance. However, I really enjoyed the writing, so I'm very interested to see how I feel about this book. This is following a human woman that ends up stepping through a portal into another dimension where she meets a battle god and finds out that they are somehow connected and stuck together, and they are both trying to figure out or find a way to get back home. So it should be really good. I'm very excited. I know Ava from Ava's Romance absolutely loves Ruby Dixon's writings, and I trust her judgment. So I'm so excited and really looking forward to picking up Bound to a Battle God. And the next 2 books are pirate fantasy romance. So I feel like in April, we are getting into springtime, and that's when I like to read more like nautical type books. I'm pretty sure I read Fable this time last year, which is an amazing YA story. Definitely pick it up. So for the first book, I'm going to be reading From Tormented Tides. And this is following, I believe her name's Katrina, and she ends up meeting this guy at a college party only to find out that he was supposed to die 300 years ago. So somehow she ends up on his cursed pirate ship with his crew, and they try to uncover the secrets to breaking the curse. Sounds really good. Sounds like it could be really good or really bad. It kind of has that urban fantasy feel, which I don't love, but I also love anything pirate themed. So very interested, and I will probably be reading this towards the end of April. And next up is a book I was supposed to read in March, did not get to it, but that is fine because it's also pirate themed. So we have On These Black Sands, and from what I remember, this is following a pirate that really wants to break free from the Pirate Council. And the Pirate Council kind of like controls what pirates are allowed to like do as far as like looting and killing. So one day when he's trying to break free, he's looking for this dagger, and he ends up finding a stowaway. And the stowaway is a woman, and I believe it's going to be their love story. I'm guessing enemies to lovers, but it sounds really good, and I figured it would be perfect to read with these Tormented Tides. So another book I will probably be reading closer to the end of April. So moving into romance, I only have 2 books. The first one is The Kingmaker, and that's by Kennedy Ryan. So I actually bought that book during the Audible sale about 5 months ago, and keep meaning to pick it up, and I keep putting it off. So I tried to find a summary of this book, and I can't. So literally every time I was on Goodreads and I thought I figured out what the book was about, it said like spoiler warning. So what I figured out so far is we were following Maxim and Lennox, and they meet when they are teenagers, and then it spans their relationship, and they're trying to navigate politics and power. I know that is so vague, but that is the best I got. But anyway, all of my friends that have read this book really enjoyed it. I do know that it is the first, I believe, in a series or duet. I will pick up the rest of the books if I enjoy this one. Probably not in April, just because my April is like jam-packed. But hopefully this is as good as everyone says, and I cannot wait to read it. And last up, we have The Highest Bidder by Sara Cate. So I believe this is the 4th or 5th book in the Salacious Players Club, the first book being Praise. Praise is still my favorite, but this might take the top spot. So this is following Ronan, who is, I believe he didn't help found the Salacious Players Club, but he put money into it. There's a word for that. I don't know it at the moment. Investor. He was an investor in the Salacious Players Club. And he ends up bidding on one of the servers, and then it is their relationship, and I'm pretty sure it's also mom's ex-boyfriend, possibly. I could be mistaking that with another book. Either way, I am so excited to read this. I know it has praise, daddy kink, and I've heard nothing but good things, and all of my friends that got ARCs keep posting quotes of this book, and it just sounds amazing. So this will probably be the only book I actually read physically, because they haven't announced when the audio is going to be released, but I am so excited, and I just cannot wait to read Highest Bidder. Alright guys, those are all the books I plan on reading in April. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know down in the comments below if you have read any of the books I talked about and which one is your favorite. And let me know down in the comments also, what book are you most looking forward to reading in April? So, I said this already, I post new videos every Wednesday and Sunday, and if you haven't yet, please like and subscribe. I will see you all next week. Bye!